by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
It's the show that everybody has been waiting for and lining up for hours to see. Samanai Japan kicks off its World Baseball Classic title defense against Chinese Taipei. The top two teams in the world clash in the World Baseball Classic. Ohtani jumps on the first pitch and works it into the right field corner. Dug out there by Lynn, Ohtani will stride in smoothly with a leadoff double on the very first pitch of his tournament. Bases loaded, 1 out. No score, but for how much longer? Ohtani with 3 Grand Slams in his MLB career. Looking for one in the WBC. The 2-1 now. Ohtani lights it up. It is gone! Ohtani, of course! And the Tokyo Dome is on fire! A ground ball base hit in the right center field. Genda brings in 2 more. 13-0. One more out. Comes down to the leadoff batter. Struck him out, and that's the ball game. Samanai Japan gets Chinese Taipei back for the Premier 12 gold medal game in 2024 with a WBC victory in 2026.
Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this program. We've got Landon Winkler over in the corner running the video feed and the cameras. Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities, supporting student, community, and employee needs. I hope everybody is having an excellent Friday. We're about ready to start the weekend, folks. And what's going to be happening this weekend? Well, on my television, it's going to be a lot of the World Baseball Classic. The opening game of the WBC last night in 7 innings, Japan run rules Chinese Taipei. Again, you heard it there. Supposed to be the top 2 teams in the world as far as the World Baseball Classic is concerned, and Japan goes in and gets the job done, 13-0. They run rule Chinese Taipei. Shohei Ohtani, obviously the big headline. This game in Japan, it was the opener of the WBC. Shohei Ohtani goes 3 for 4. He gets a grand slam. He gets a base hit on the first pitch of the tournament. And obviously the grand slam kind of sending the place into a frenzy. And just a really cool moment. Look, I'll be honest. I hate the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani is the coolest thing to happen to baseball in a very long time. He's really good. He seems like a very likable dude. And obviously, I mean, he's an all-star at 2 positions. And the dude is incredible. He also has a nose for the biggest moments in games, and that's a very special, very rare trait. And Shohei Ohtani bringing it in spades in Japan's opening win over Chinese Taipei. If you want to watch the World Baseball Classic, you can do that right now. We hope you'll stick with us. But just to let you know, you can watch Cuba and Panama over on FS2. The Netherlands and Venezuela are live over on Tubi, if you have Tubi. And Mexico and Great Britain are live over on FS1 right now. We will have Puerto Rico and Colombia tonight at 6 on FS1. Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic at 7 on FS2. USA gets started against Brazil at 8 over on Fox. And Chinese Taipei will try to lick their wounds against the Czech Republic. That game, first pitch set for tonight at 10 p.m. over on FS2. It's the World Baseball Classic. If you missed it the last time they held this event, it is such an awesome time. The United States finished in the as runners-up to Japan last year, and it's really good baseball. It is very high-quality baseball, especially the deeper you get into the tournament. These teams are, once you get out of pool play, pretty much all the teams that aren't capable of winning are gone, and obviously, again, you'll have the United States playing Brazil tonight at Fox. And tonight on Fox at 8 p.m. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So all those times that I told you about, back them up 1 hour. I apologize. But USA and Brazil at 7 on Fox should be a whole lot of fun. World Baseball Classic just means the season is right around the corner. Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Also by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. Also in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Community College athletics programs the best in the country. Fun show for you today. Second half of the show, we'll have Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions for our usual Friday check-in. We'll talk postseason basketball. We'll talk state wrestling. And those two topics pretty much take up the entire conversation. And it's a great one. We'll go into a lot of detail. But first, one of the folks that we do speak about in the second half, we'll speak to him in the first half of the show. Trent Kern wins the state championship at 215 pounds in 5A wrestling. He and his father, Rex, who took over as the head coach of the program this year, joined me earlier in the Joined me earlier in the day to talk about what Trent was able to accomplish. We'll have that conversation for you on the other side of this break. You're listening to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Also online, GreatBendPost.com. Hey, Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
C&E Doors, this is Eddie. Oh, Adley?
Papa, our new band is ready to practice, but the garage door sounds broken.
That door is so squeaky, they will never hear your band. Let's get the guys at C&E Doors to repair that noisy door.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
We're going up, it's our moment.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Get active with Rec Sports. Youth and adult baseball and softball leagues are now forming. Don't miss out on the summer baseball and softball leagues for all ages and abilities. Sign up today. Online registration is available at greatbendrec.com. Deadline April 12th.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Barton Community College, in partnership with Golden Key Group, proudly offers the nation's first associate degree in federal human resources. This online program prepares anyone for remote federal HR careers across the government. Service members and military spouses can use My CAA or GI Bill benefits to take the next step toward a flexible, rewarding career from wherever you are. Learn more at federalhr.bartonccc.edu.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you now, joined by Trent and Rex Kern of Great Bend High School Wrestling. Trent, First of all, congratulations. We have you in here today because you got over the hump. You won a state title at 215 pounds up at 5A wrestling. And first of all, just congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So tell us about your experience at state. And we talked about it a little bit off the air. This is your 4th time making it at state. You placed 3 times in a row, but this time you come out on top.
Yeah, it was cool this year. The team was different than the past years, and we didn't take as many as we liked, but those dudes went there and got the job done, and just having those guys surround me and support me the whole year made it so much easier.
You had a lot of support up there at the state wrestling tournament. So for the finals day, all the pictures of the rest of what seems like all the Great Bend senior class on the boys' side is they're up there, painted chests and cheering for you the whole time. What does it mean to have your classmates behind you like that?
It's awesome. We've grown up with each other since we were little kids, and I don't remember a weekend or a day that I didn't have a buddy that would talk to me or hang out with me. It's just it's a brotherhood, and in Great Bend, Kansas, that's what we live by.
Talk a little bit about the team that you've had this year. You said the team was totally different. I have a conversation that's going to play later in the show where I talk with a guy and we talk about wrestling being iron sharpening iron.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the team that surrounds you and how they've helped you get ready for this.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome this year. Everyone went to the room and wanted to work hard and get done. And this year I didn't have someone my size that I could wrestle and roll around with, so I wrestled Tristan Tomlinson every day, our 157-pounder. And that's one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met, and it was just constant battles.
Yeah. Moving up from 157 to 215 is quite a jump. But I mean, like you said, Tristan so good, and it made him better. He placed at state as well.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's a dude Tristan couldn't take down this year. When you wrestle a 215-pounder every day at practice, he's a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to us about your path through the bracket. You got pins through the first 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Remember that right?
Yeah. It was I got a good draw this year. I got obviously the 8 seed from the other side and got done with him pretty easily. The next guy was a little harder, but that was the goal, was just to get pins and then make it to the finals.
And so you make it to the finals. You come in the following day. I've seen the video of the end of this match. You're up as far as points. The other guy knows, all right, I've got 10 seconds. He's got to do something. He throws his Hail Mary. You're ready for it.
Yeah.
And you kind of get a takedown off of that counter, and then you find a camera and smile into it with your hand raised. That feeling has to be just about the best that you can get in any sport.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. As soon as it happened, I was ready to wrestle another match. It gave me so much. I was ready to go again, and just knowing that I finally won a state championship after the 2 years we came up short in football and last year coming up short in baseball, it was just a huge sigh of relief.
You know, that is something that I've spoken about with some folks around here is, you know, this Great Bend senior class has done absolutely everything but finally win that state title. For you to bring that home to Great Bend High School, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot for me, but knowing that all my friends and family helped me work to get that is even more meaningful in my opinion.
We also have head coach Rex Kern here. So, Coach, you take over. It's your first year as the head man on this job, and you get to coach your son, and you're standing on the side of the mat as he's getting his hand raised, having won the state title. I mean, that's got to be a proud father moment.
Oh, yeah. It was it's almost a stress relief when you've been doing that since they were 6 and under probably, and to see it all pay off in the end. He'd won some middle school state championships, but it just doesn't have the caliber of weight behind a high school state championship that it does. And for him to get to that point, he said earlier those 3 matches earlier went pretty quick, but he was out there wrestling to win those, in my opinion. And you get to that last match with the title on the line, and you just wrestle a little bit different because it's one mistake and it's the other guy's opportunity. It's not like we got another 3 quarters to come back and build from. It's a do or die situation, and to wrestle tight, still get through it, and just the relief and the look on his face of all the years of work he's put in was worth it.
seeing all those fans in the stands kind of cheering for your son, and knowing that there's so much of the community behind what he's done over these last 4 years, and now what he's been able to do at this tournament. I'm going to end a lot of questions like this, but that has to feel like a proud father moment.
It was to have a community come together like that. We got a pretty deep family, so it's not by accident we'd have 30, 40 people in the stands for football or baseball. But to bring a community together like that and finally top it off, it just shows a lot of work from top to bottom. This isn't something that we just practiced last week and succeeded. This is the club level through the middle school, all those coaches starting off early, Darren Sharks and Jesse Richter down at the club level, getting in with Coach Muth through that middle school level just to keep that iron sharp to where you can finally peak it off at the right time. And then there's just so many people that had a hand in it, and to look up and see them behind you cheering at the end, it was so worth it.
Trent, did you find that camera before, during, or like as soon as you got that takedown at the end?
I really didn't even notice there was a camera. I was so in the moment, and it just happened that they got it on picture, which was really cool.
It was really cool. So you brought in some headgear here today.
Yep.
Yep, and it's got hold that up, show it to the camera. We've got it's got an autograph. It's got the Panther logo on the side of it. It has your name on it. 215 state champion in 2026. Again, man, just congratulations. This is a really cool achievement. The storybook moment, kind of for your dad taking over and for you to bring home the gold. I mean, this is storybook. I don't know if there's a question behind it, but I just can't get over how cool the story is.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's only been a few. How many 4-time state placers?
There's only been 3 4-time state placers. So to be a 4-timer, and especially at an upper weight, when he started at 190, he becomes the 4th one. It's a rarer group of kids in that wrestling room than what we have state champions. And for him to get that, it's really a big accomplishment. Cal Sharks placed again this year, so he's on track to hopefully be our 5th one. And you're talking pretty rare air when you get to that group of kids. To be able to be successful right out of the gate, sustain that grind over your high school career, it's a really elite group.
Coach, congratulations. Trent, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Rex and Trent Kern of Great Bend High School Wrestling joining us here on Sports Day. Trent Kern has been in this studio a lot over his 4 years at Great Bend High School, and I'm sure he's not done. He'll come back in for baseball, I'm sure. And we do want to get the rest of the state placers for Great Bend High School in the studio and talk to them. That'll probably be middle of next week is when we're planning on doing that. But we definitely want to honor those kids as well. But wanted to give Trent his moment. Just a super cool story, like we said. And yeah, if you can go back, you can watch that. We did it. We were able to record video of that. So if you want to see it, you can go to greatbendpost.com, click on the sports tab, Friday on Sports Day. It's also going to live forever on the Eagle Media Great Bend YouTube page. But this is the headgear that Trent brought in. You can see it says Trent Kern. He signed it himself there. State champ, 215 pounds. That's really cool. And he's done it, it's something that Rex talked about, Coach Rex talked about. The fact that he was able to do it 4 years in a row, able to place at state 4 years in a row, has only been done 4, now 5 times in the history of Great Bend High School. And Cale Sharts is on track to do it as well, and so hopefully he can get to 6th. And just such a cool story and such an accomplished athlete is Trent Kern. Just a super cool dude to talk to, especially off microphone. And I know he and I have cut up a little bit a couple of times when I was out at Great Bend's football practice earlier in the year, and he relaxes a little bit, as does everybody when they're off the mic. And Trent, super cool dude, super accomplished athlete, and headed off to Garden City to continue his football career as a linebacker, and definitely going to have to keep track of what all he does throughout his athletic career for however long he does it. And hey, speaking of the Kerns, Sports Day is brought to you in part by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, Their knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your home decor and budget. Visit the Great Bend Showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. Next up, it's Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions. What I love about talking to Connor, especially before I talk to other athletes, there are times where I'll talk to Connor and he'll say something and he and I will have a back and forth that it makes me want to ask a certain question of a particular athlete. And that happened during this conversation with Connor in reference to the fact that I was going to be speaking to Trent Kern today. And maybe you'll be able to hear that, maybe not, I don't know. But I thought it was interesting, and Connor and I do talk a lot about state wrestling. That's probably half of this is going to be about the wrestling titles. Half of this is going to be about playoff basketball. So that's coming up. We'll talk Great Bend stuff as well. So that's what you'll hear on the other side of this break. You're listening to 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. This is Sports Day.
Cine Doors, this is Eddie. Oh, Hadley?
Papa, our new band is ready to practice, but the garage door sounds broken.
That door is so squeaky, they will never hear your band. Let's get the guys at Cine Doors to repair that noisy door.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Barton Community College, in partnership with Golden Key Group, proudly offers the nation's first associate degree in federal human resources. This online program prepares anyone for remote federal HR careers across the government. Service members and military spouses can use My CAA or GI Bill benefits to take the next step toward a flexible, rewarding career from wherever you are. Learn more at federalhr.bartoncccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry now joined by Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions, as we are for our usual Friday checkup. Connor, you and I have kind of organized this. I hope you're staying safe out there, man.
Yeah, busy week. Driving back a little bit of rain here tonight on the Thursday night. But yeah, as we had mentioned off air, I think this is the busiest week when you include last weekend of the entire Acacia Sports season.
Yep, absolutely. And part of the reason for that is state wrestling. There's just, hundreds of kids to keep track of. I was in charge of keeping track of about 30 of them. I can't imagine what you were doing the whole weekend, trying to know what all of them were doing. So let's talk about the state wrestling and kind of go class by class and talk about some of the things that stood out to you.
Yeah, and I mean the major headliner from the area is of course what happened with 3-2-1A girls. The Russell Broncos, an incredible story. What they have done, I mean, people have to understand this. Russell has struggled in pretty much everything for a very long time. I mean, Russell boys basketball have not won more than 14 games in the season since 1990. Russell girls basketball has one Final Four in 40-plus years. Russell football has won one playoff game since 1979. Baseball has had moderate success. But then what wrestling has done has just been incredible for this town. They had a great season last year, and then, of course, this year, winning the state championship. They win 3-2-1A. It is the first girls' championship of any sport in the history of the school, the first state championship of any kind since 1979, and they've got a number of outstanding wrestlers. I mean, Maya Trevino might be their best wrestler, and she won several matches in the state but didn't even place. You've got Kinsey Zorn, who is outstanding. Kinsey Zorn comes from a super Russell-heavy athletic family. You know, she's a state track champion. She's a great, great wrestler. They had a number of other state champions. I wanted to focus actually on the freshman, Ariana Weigel. So interesting story. I've shared this with people. I actually coached Ariana Weigel 1 year in softball. She played with us on 10U softball. That was a good team. We took second in our league that year, and even at that level, the girl had incredible athleticism. Was not softball was not her top sport. She made that clear then, but she was a good player for us. Hit the ball really hard, but just incredible athleticism, dancer. And you could tell that she was really gravitating towards wrestling even then. And you see some of these freshman wrestlers who A, have been doing the sport for a long time, and B, are great at gymnastics and or dance. And those things really translate. And Ariana Weigel is super strong, especially for her weight class, and wins the state championship. And that really, honestly, Brant, took Russell from that top 3 showing last year to the state championship this year, adding a freshman of that incredible talent. And then, you look at what the MCL did across the board. Plainville had a great state tournament. One of their freshmen, Hayden Staub, very similar to Weigel, been wrestling for a very long time, comes from a super family. Her dad threw the discus at K-State, and they had the Garcia girl win a state championship. Oakley and Norton, once again, the MCL just cleaning up in 3-2-1A girls wrestling. In a certain extent, what the WAC has done in 5 and 6A, Garden City, to have the success they had, I was keeping an eye on that. I thought Great Bend had a good showing. Talked to some people with Hayes High. They knew they were going to do well, but they were actually pleasantly surprised by how well they did. Audrey Yarmer taking third. But again, the WAC really showed out. And again, what Garden City did was just really impressive. And then obviously on the boys' side, the headliner for Great Bend, Trenton Kern, to win a state championship at that weight class, you are going against Division I athletes. Some of the best all-around athletes in Kansas. And again, a cherry on top for what he has done. And as we talked about this, and I really do believe this now, you could state the claim that he is the best three-sport athlete, or maybe the most accomplished, probably the better word, most accomplished three-sport athlete in the history of Great Bend High School. And then obviously, Bremer is certainly part of that, but, Bremer didn't have a basketball season essentially this year, and, obviously baseball is very much in doubt, and what Kern did is just amazing. So kudos to him. What an incredible season he had, especially at that weight class.
Yeah, just to go back to the Russell girls for a second, I to see 4 state champions and a runner-up in that bunch, I feel like wrestling is one of the ultimate iron sharpens iron sports, and that obviously the more good players you have on your team, whatever the sport is, the better you're going to be. But every day, those girls going up against each other in practice, I mean, that goes such a long way in making them better going against each other.
Oh, and 100%. And you hit on another point there. I missed saying her name earlier, but you have the Donner girl from Russell, and then, of course, the Donner boy from Russell. The Donner boy, of course, is committed to Fort Hays for wrestling. Won a state championship last year. I believe he was top 3 this year. And then, obviously, his sister, doing quite well, getting into a state championship. And, yeah, those are 2 siblings who have grown up wrestling and have learned from each other and have gotten better. And then you look at what also happened out east, which this has happened before. Washburn Rural did it a couple of years ago, but Vassar Linwood winning both the girls and the boys state title in the same year. And you're exactly right. Well, those practices are different. It's still a program bringing up the other part of the program. Obviously, girls to boys or boys to girls, and they're supporting each other. They're in school together. Hey, I want a tournament. I want to win a tournament. Just that. I always call it the rising tide raises all boats. You call it iron sharpens iron. I think the same thing awarding applies, and that's what you're seeing is Damon Parker at Washburn Rural, who was really the guy who really made him and Doug Kretzer at McPherson really made girls wrestling what it is now. But Damon Parker said, I just need athletes in my room. I can teach them to wrestle, and I can teach them to do stuff, but the more athletes I have, the better off I will be, and the more that our tide will rise. And it's cool because a lot of teams have kind of taken that approach, and that's why wrestling's a great sport. I mean, to me, I think I've covered 12 to 14 state meets, and some on the girl. I think I've covered 4 on the girls and 8 on the boys. And that is truly a day where the stories come about because, there's no all-state team. The all-state team for wrestling is what you do on those 2 days in February. And it's really cool, just the emotions and what you have to go through as a person to wrestle 40 matches over 3 months is just really, really challenging.
And also, you already mentioned it, but Trent Kern winning the state title at 215. The story behind that, and actually earlier on today's show, we will be speaking to Trent and Rex Kern. But the story there with the kind of the atmosphere around this senior class of Great Bend, and that they have done everything but win a state championship, and the fact that Rex Kern takes over as Great Bend's head coach this year on the wrestling side, and Trent finally being able to kind of put Great Bend over the hump as far as winning a state title when they've come so close so many times. For him to finally do it, and then, like I said, the story with his father, that's such a massive, awesome storyline to me.
Yeah, and I mean, you hit on the head. And I've talked about this in previous years too, but sometimes you can be great. You can be historically great and not win a state championship. But my goodness, does it really, really help when you do. And you're exactly right. From the success in baseball to, the basketball to, you can go through. They've been a number 1 seed on the West Side in basketball. They've been to state basketball. They've obviously have finished second in baseball. They had the great team this fall. The Final Four run, losing to the eventual state champions. But yeah, you haven't had that state champion or championship, and that was really cool. And you just feel the weight of, maybe not every day, but the weight of, man, this is my last chance, and let's get it done. And sometimes it doesn't happen for people. We saw it, in the Olympics with several athletes. But then when it does happen, it's something that just you remember forever. And I've seen a number of wrestlers over the years that have done that. Their senior year, they have won the state championship. They've been great. They've been to state, maybe have even been a state championship match. But just the emotion that comes after that state championship match is something that I think is more emotion sometimes than you get in wrestling compared to other sports. But yeah, for his dad stepped in and coached this team. That's what an awesome story. Something that they will remember for their lives. And frankly, something that when you walk into Great Bend High School and you see all those Hall of Famers and you see all those plaques that you see every single day, I mean, Trent Kern's going to be on that wall. I mean, he's going to have a plaque, and he'll be remembered at Great Bend High School for as long as there is a Great Bend High School, quite honestly.
Yeah, I absolutely agree for what he's done in all those various sports and the success he's had. I mean, it's a name that, you and I were talking about it before I think even state began, and that he is, you said at the time, he is almost certainly a Great Bend Hall of Famer. Now he adds a gold medal to that very long list of accomplishments, and you certainly think that he's going to have to be up there. Let's swap over to basketball now. We'll start with Great Bend just because I think a season for Great Bend where they did a good job considering the circumstances, but I don't think the season that they imagined coming into it.
Correct. And I do want to actually hit on the girls' side just for about 20 seconds.
Go for it.
I mentioned earlier in the winter that Great Bend needed to produce some things at the youth level, particularly 3rd through 6th grade, in order to get the girls' ship turned around. And I had some pretty pointed comments. In this winter, Great Bend girls had a 3rd grade team that was very strong. Now, 3rd grade's a long way from 7th grade, and a long way from high school, but I was happy to see that because it's the first time I've seen that in at least a decade. And when you start producing those seeds along the way, that's going to help. So kudos to Great Bend. It's a start. And, what happened at the high school level this year for the girls, cannot blame those girls and those coaches for what happened. A lot of that starts at the grassroots level. So good job, Great Bend girls, for trying to get this ship turned. You're exactly right. On the boys' side, I actually had the exact same thought of, man, I mean, so many good vibes, so many good things. And then, you lose to Hayes High, and then, the season ends a few days later, and you still get over the 500 mark. But it was like, man, it would really be nice if we could have played longer because we were, the arrow was pointing up. Then all of a sudden, the arrow wasn't pointing up anymore. And that's tough. And I think that you have to look back at the season and say, this is at least an above average season. I mean, if anybody were to say this is less than a B season, B as a boy, I think you would be wrong. But sometimes you want to have that A season, and I think that Great Bend was almost there, but they needed probably a win here too down the stretch in this last week to get over that. A lot of pieces in place, and for some of these boys to step up, including Premer's brother, step up like they did. Cooper, another one too, to get all this playing time, get into star role. I think that will roll into next year, especially when you have a really good coach.
I spoke to Kyle Creed throughout the season, and when Ian Premer went down with the injury, and I kind of asked him, well, how do you adjust? And his answer was, well, even though we had Ian, we never really catered to Ian. He was a piece, and he was a big piece, but we have so many good pieces around him. And while, again, you're losing the best athlete in the state of Kansas in the dead middle of what you're trying to do, it's going to have an impact. Again, I still think that given that circumstance, I'm with you. You can't call this a bad season for Great Bend.
No, you can't. And I think that again, they had a very, very solid year. And I think that people people have to walk away saying, man, look what we did without a great player. And again, this development, and sometimes you see this development when an injury happens, the benefits, if you will, of people having to step up because of the injury is sometimes seen most in the following year. To give you a quick example, 2013, Victoria had a great football team. Week 4, quarterback loss for the year, senior torn ACL. Victoria ended up making the playoffs. Brady Dinkle had to play. The next 2 years, Brady Dinkle led Victoria 24 consecutive wins. And him playing as a sophomore when he wasn't supposed to helped him so much as a junior and senior. And I think that's something that you can see with Great Bend is, again, the experience could really, when the ball starts being bounced in November next year, I bet some comments are going to be, wow, we're a lot more experienced at some positions than we thought that we were going to be because these players had to play and they had to step up if we were going to win. So again, very, very solid year, probably an above average season, but something that I think could really carry Great Bend over into next year.
And just looking at some of the smaller classifications, pretty much everybody around here, at least in the immediate area, is done for the year basketball-wise, except for Greg Maxwell and the Ellenwood girls. It's a name that you and I have spoken about a ton. It's a group that's been in the studio several times already this year, and they're now in the sub-state final against TMP over in Smith Center.
Yeah, what a great game. I'm going to be there tomorrow night. I wanted to highlight a couple things. Obviously, what Ellenwood has done, they put out some information through their social media that this is the most wins ever for the girls basketball program in a single season. They've had a number of other records, points scored in a game, and so on. Obviously, Ellenwood is trying to break through and make it a state for the first time in quite some time. Last year, Ellenwood faces an MCL school in Phillipsburg, and Peaburg's defense was just too much. They swallowed up Ellenwood, particularly in that second half. Somewhat of a low-scoring game. I want to say it was like 46-33, and Peaburg's defense was just too much. And I think this Ellenwood team is better, but again, you're facing an MCL team that is very, very much known for defense and can swallow teams up as they did a couple nights ago on the road. TMP has allowed every team other than Hoxie to score under 50 points since January the 20th. I think it's a stretch of 10, 11 games, and that includes Lorna, that includes Oakley. It's going to be a really good game if TMP can hold Ellenwood under 50. I really think TMP's got a very good shot. They've got some girls that have really bought into defense. TMP has to hit three-pointers. I think it's also pretty easily, like everybody would say this on both sides, Ellenwood is more athletic and bigger at, if not all five positions, probably at least four of them. Now, I think that if Ellenwood can get by tomorrow night, I think Ellenwood has a great chance to play for a state championship. I am not a huge believer in Pittsburgh-Colgan. They've got Jacayla Davis, who is amazing, fantastic, top 5 all-Kansas player. But Colgan has a hard time matching up against certain geographic regions in Kansas at the state tournament. And that has been borne out for a good almost decade now. And I do think that if Ellenwood can get by tomorrow night, it will have as good of a shot as anyone to play on that final game. But tomorrow night's going to be a test. Obviously, you've got a very interesting story with the Victoria boys. They are playing in a championship game, subject championship game out west. They beat Otis Bison this year in triple overtime and by 1 point. That 1 point game was, of course, last Saturday. They also beat Otis Bison last year with no time left, with a free throw with no time left. I mean, incredibly close matchups. And the Victoria only plays 6 players. They've got a sophomore, a junior, and 4 seniors. And they know this, that I believe it has not been since 2016. I believe it's been an even decade and 3 appearances since 1990. It's Victoria boys and Coach Ryan, who does a fantastic job to get that team on through. And obviously his brother at Central Plains has a fantastic team as well, too. So the Ryan brothers hoping to play deep into March.
Absolutely. All right, so all of these sub-states, either into the finals or the semifinals, when you look around, especially in the western half of Kansas, what are some matchups that stand out to you as we get ready for the state tournament?
Yeah, a couple of big ones is I'm really curious to see what happens with the Twin Valley League sub-states. You know, for those who don't know, I mean, the Twin Valley League, particularly on the girls' side, just dominates the 1As and the 2As. You know, last year in the 1A Division II state championship game, Hanover and Lynn, who are in the same school district and 30 miles apart, play for the state championship. Centralia, also in the same league, wins 1A Division I, undefeated season. Valley Heights and Doniphan West, both at the state tournament. That's 5 girls' teams. And this happens year after year after year. And I'm always interested to see who of those Twin Valley Leagues teams are going to come out. I think Hanover is great again. Lynn is great again. Centralia is not as good as what they were. Well, when you graduate Ellen Dieters and her 1,800 career points, it's hard to replace that. But Little River, who did everything they possibly could to boost their schedule this year, playing 6A schools, playing Halstead, can LR get over that hump and win a state championship with some great players? And they're probably going to have to get through a Twin Valley League team to do it. And 2 years ago, they lost to Frankfort and Colby. Obviously, last year losing to Centralia. Probably a Twin Valley League team in the way as well. So LR, you know, kind of Golden Belt-ish, range-ish. Really interested. They should get through. But what's going to happen at state? And then, you know, I'm always interested to see, kind of talked about earlier, kind of our theme, boys and girls teams, kind of iron sharpens iron. Some of those boys and girls teams that are both in a sub-state championship game, Quinter boys and girls have really, really good teams this year. Could both of those teams get through again? I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. And can the Sterling boys, again, roughly 40 miles from Great Bend, they should beat El Saline, but they're facing El Saline for the 3rd time this year. Can the Sterling boys continue this historically great 2A season? So those are some teams. Twin Valley League, watch that and see what happens to those teams at the state tournament, because that's incredible to watch every year what that small school conference does.
Connor, what is the latest over at Sunflower Sports Solutions?
Just working on some behind-the-scenes things. This is just a week where you try to keep your head above water and just kind of take in everything. And then once spring break hits, we've got a lot that will go up. So enjoy. I'll tell everybody this time of the year, enjoy this time of the year, because here in about 11 or 12 days, we all kind of take a break for about 2 weeks.
Connor, it is always a pleasure, and thank you so much for taking the time.
Certainly, sir. Thanks again.
That is Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to Connor, as always. Incredibly insightful and honestly just more things to say than even I have time to give him, but he is always a fount of knowledge and brings a unique perspective, can compare it to other things that have happened in the history, and that's always a good time. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Equity Bank. There when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. Also by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison. Final break of the show. We're back to wrap it up on this Friday here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. This is Sports Day.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Get active with Rec Sports. Youth and adult baseball and softball leagues are now forming. Don't miss out on the summer baseball and softball leagues for all ages and abilities. Sign up today. Online registration is available at greatbendrec.com. Deadline April 12th.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Hey Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Welcome back. Final segment of Sports Day. The show is brought to you in part by Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community and the individual lives of their community members. We like to play the music game with Garrett Fitzpatrick on Mondays. That was Matchbox 20. Also brought to you in part by Freedom Claims Management. Let the experienced and dedicated staff of Freedom Claims Management, Inc. customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Can't remember the name of the song. The band is Matchbox 20, which usually it's the other way around. You know the song and not the band. Either way, let you know what's coming up on our airways this weekend. This is the only show. We don't have any more high school basketball to bring you for the moment. That's a tease. But we'll see where that goes. But tomorrow on our airwaves on 106.9, Kansas State at Kansas in Fog Allen Fieldhouse. And that will be the final Big 12 regular season game of the year. Or of the season for both teams. Region 6 tournament on the women's side, Cloud County traveling to play Barton tomorrow tip-off at 5:30. We'll go on air at 5:15 over on B1043 The Point. Also, NBA basketball is back. Golden State Warriors taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder at 7 p.m. right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. On Sunday, the Royals are back. We have spring training for you. That's coming your way. They are facing off with the Chicago White Sox down in Arizona. That first coverage will begin at 3 p.m. I believe first pitch 3:05. No real pre- or post-game show, but we are going to have that action for you. They'll be back again on Monday. They'll be facing against Cleveland. Same time, 3 o'clock. We'll bring you that as well. Looking around, we've got some sub-state basketball in our area. While we're not broadcasting any of these games, you can go out and see them over in Larned, Scott City, and Beloit on the boys' side in the semifinal of that sub-state. Holcomb and Lakin on the other side. 2A boys and Smith Center, the championship is tomorrow. TMP taking on Stanton County. Championship over in Osborne, the 1A Division I Central Plains and Sylvan Lucas. The Spearville Sub-State, Meade and Kiowa County. That's over in Spearville. Also in Spearville versus South Central. That is on the boys' side as well. And the 1A Division II Colby Sub-State, Friday, March 6th. That's today. This is over in Colby, Wallace County, taking on Victoria. On the girls' side, Holcomb and Goodland over in Larned in the Sub-State. Also Ellsworth and Beloit. We've been telling you about this team a lot this year. Ellenwood will take on TMP tonight at Smith Center for a chance to go to state. Quinter versus Osborne over in Osborne. Also Central Plains and Rock Hills in the same sub-state. 1A D1 Spearville, South Gray and South Central. Also Hodgman County in Spearville, and 1A Division II, Greenville Wheatland versus Dighton, and Chelan versus Wallace County. That's going to do it for today. That's going to do it for the week. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Watch the World Baseball Classic. Watch a little basketball. Enjoy the sports over this weekend. We're back on Monday at 12:30. That's coming your way, myself and Garrett Fitzpatrick, right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.